Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day. We're going to work with a lot of our props today. So before we even get started, if you have a strap, if you don't worry about it. But if you have a strap, go ahead and grab it and put it into a kind of hip width loop and have that. And then you're going to take your blanket if you have that. And if you don't have a blanket, you can use a thick towel. And it's not really a roll, it's kind of a tri-fold, right? So if you had your blanket out like it would normally be, you would fold it once and kind of get it nice and flat and then fold it a second time. So a little less rounding, a little more flat is what we're looking for. And then your blocks. And we're going to start standing, and I want you to grab one of your blocks and place it between your thighs. Don't over squeeze, we'll get there later, but just kind of get your feet parallel to each other. It's interesting to start standing in class. We don't do that very often, just a handful of times, I think. But I wanted to start with you feeling really grounded in your feet. So maybe sway side to side and spread the toes and spread the ball mounds of the feet, and maybe lean into the four corners of those feet and then let the toes come down. Give a squeeze at your block, maybe 20%. If you are comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. So Tadasana, mountain pose. If you're not comfortable, just a soft gaze, maybe down, looking down. And I wanted to read just a little thing that I had written down a while ago. And it's a very short little quote from Nick Askew. And he says, "Beyond the endless game of fixing what is seemingly broken, there exists a profound experience of knowing that there is no one to fix, that we are enough as we are, that we belong without condition." And I read that one on purpose because I think sometimes, even especially, I was going to say, even for me, because I'm so awesome, but especially for me, because I'm human, we're always trying to fix something about ourselves. We're always trying to lose weight or gain weight or get stronger or fix this or you know what I mean. And what would happen if we approached it in a way that we don't need fixing, that things we do for ourselves are to maybe help ourselves be better versions of who we are, but it's not about fixing. And I think about that in yoga because we sometimes we'll do a pose and we'll go, oh, that's not right, or oh, this doesn't look right, or oh, she does it better, he does it better. And it's never, ever about that. It's never about fixing. It is about tuning in from the inside out and experiencing your process, right? Your experience. So I invite you today in this practice to feel what you feel, right? Experience what you experience. Tune into what your body is asking you to do. Stop doing something if your body says, no, I don't like that. I took a yoga class yesterday. I was very excited about it. And it was a 60-minute class. And I maybe did about 15 minutes of what the instructor was doing because everything she was doing did not feel good in my body. And I just said, nope, not doing it. And I would switch so that I could have the experience I needed without doing any harm. So that's kind of where all that is coming from. All right, so here we are, mountain pose. Take a nice deep breath. Let it all go. Feel your torso, your whole body from the ground up, right? So feel your feet on the mat. If you can, close your eyes. If not, just keep them soft. And then feel the engagement of the legs as we squeeze the block. We're not hyperextending the back of the knees. It's nice and soft. There's a slight tone to the lower belly. The chest is broad, right? The collarbones reach out to the sides, and then the shoulder blades draw down and in as the chest rises. The head sits gently on the neck, on the shoulders, and we can feel the crown of the head reaching up. The fingers heavy, like they are dripping dew from the morning. Just feel your body. And maybe notice some habit patterns. I know a couple of you that do tend to hyperextend the back of the legs, right? Because of being in gymnastics or dancing or something as when you were younger. And so we soften that space behind the knees. The shoulders are at the side body, but we're not over squeezing. We're not squeezing back. We're not rolling forward. We just feel our bodies in space. And then open the eyes a little bit if they're closed and just start to kind of sway in a circle, like just a small circle. Keep the knees soft. And as you do this teeny tiny circle, I want you to feel the base of the feet. Right? We're going outside, back, sideways, forward. It's soft and it's not a big circle because with the block, it can mess you up. So just feel like maybe go slower. There's the outside of one foot, inside of the other. There's the ball mounds, right? There's the other edge. There's the heels. And then circle the other way. Find your breath. And then come back to center, look down at your feet, lift all of your toes and spread them out as wide as you can. Yep, hold them there if you can. Feel the ball mounds, right? Feel the heels squeeze into the block gently. And then just put your big toes down, just your big toes. And lift those up. See if you can get the other 4 toes other than big toes, other 4 on both sides. Press those down, keep the big toe up, and then switch. And switch. If you're still looking at your feet, see if you can do this without looking at your feet. Just a couple more switches and switches. And then let them all come back to the floor. And then rock forward so that you're on the ball mound as if you were going to tip over, but don't go too far. So you're starting to lift the heels a little bit. Don't hold. Keep the back of the knees soft. You're just rocking forward. Maybe you rock a little back. Be careful, be gentle, right? So we figure out our bodies in space. If we lean to one side and lift the foot off the floor, what happens, right? If we lean to the other side, lift the foot, what happens, right? If we take one foot off the floor and bend the knee, what changes? And then the other side. And release it. Good. And then take the block out, shake out the legs. Both of your blocks are going to need to be to the frontish of your mat, and we'll get to that in a second. But then grab your strap and carefully step through it. Bring it up a good 2-3 inches above the knees, somewhere around the mid thighs. Give that strap a nice tug. See, I got to go tighter. And then press against the strap. Take the feet as wide as you need to so that the strap has good tension to it. Feel your breath. Still mountain pose, right? We're still working with this nice, tall, wide open upper body. We're pressing through the strap. Bend the knees a little bit so that you get good tension here. And then notice again what happens. Maybe we circle a little bit. And maybe we circle the other way. Feel the feet. Focus on those feet. And then lean to one side. See if you can lift the foot. See if you can lift the other one. See if you can come to the ball mounds. Notice, right? Pushing against the strap. See if you can lift the fronts of the feet. And then just press against the strap, soften the knees, take your hands to your knees and just hold. Simple, simple hold. All we're doing is putting pressure on the outer thighs. And then stand all the way up. Just shift out of those and release your strap, set it aside. So far, so good, right? You're going to take your blocks to the front of your mat and put them up nice and high. You're going to take that tri-fold blanket and you're going to step on it so that your heels are on your blanket. Your toes, your ball mounds are on the floor. Take a nice deep hinge from your hips. Take your hands to your blocks. Keep the knees really soft to start. Low back folks, you know what to do. So I'm not worried. You know what you have to do to keep some more neutral spine here. But with the hands on the blocks, roll the shoulders away and play with a little bit of cat-cow action. So as the knees bend, the tailbone lifts, the head lifts, the chest lifts. And as the legs straighten, we round everything down to the floor. Good. Bend the knees, lift. Exhale, straighten and round up. Good. Couple more. Just releasing, starting to move through the spine. Last one. Exhale, curl it all the way up. And then neutral spine. And start to feel the legs go a little bit straighter. Start to feel this forward fold. Maybe you're already ready to lower those blocks a little bit. Try not to let the shoulders hunch up into up to your ears. Sway side to side. Lift one ball mound off the foot and then the other, like you're walking in place almost. So you're swaying, you're lifting one foot, you're lifting the other foot. And then come back to center. Feel the draw up of those sit bones, right? It's a really weird thing. I remember other teachers would say all the time, lengthen the tailbone down, but lift the sit bones up. And I'm like, that's not possible. But if we play with the sit bones, right, the hamstring attachment to the sit bones right up here, we can feel that lift without locking out the knees. And then we can tone the belly in to lengthen the tailbone down. One more here, if you can, lower those blocks one more time. The hands come to the blocks, the shoulders open. The back of the knees are soft as we work on this forward fold. Big deep breath, everybody. Let the head hang. Bend the knees a bunch. Take your hands to your knees, look forward just a little bit and come up to standing. Woo-hoo-hoo, feel those hammies. And then step off your blanket, shake it out. And we're going to go the other way. So bring those blocks back up to that high level. This time we're taking the ball mounds to the feet, the toes, the ball mounds. You can feel the toes lift a little bit, right? As we start to stretch through the Achilles, we work with the ankles. I've said this a zillion times. If you go out to a mall or go out to a public place and you watch people and they're just kind of shifting, right? There's no movement in their ankles. It's like, what happened? I want to work with them. So feet on the blanket, your heels are on the floor, bend your knees, take your hands to your knees. And again, just start to wiggle a little bit side to side. Your blocks are where they feel comfortable, relatively under shoulders. And then lift the heels off the floor and drop back down. Good, 4 more right here. Just lift and stretch and back down. And again, lift. When I lift my heels, my knees bend. I think that's probably pretty normal. So if your knees are bending, that's what you should be doing. Good. Last one, just lift and lower and start to scoot those sit bones up as the torso gets deeper, right? As this hip crease gets deeper, maybe the blocks go lower. This should feel like a more intense stretch to you. If it doesn't, then you're weird. No, sorry. I'm weird. Okay, I'm just joking. So if it doesn't feel more intense, don't worry about it. For most people, it might. And then lower those blocks one more time. Oh, do I need more coffee or less? That is the question of the day. Shake it out, everybody. Come into your forward fold. And then from wherever your blocks are, whether they're high or low, I want you to scoot them forward so that your arms have to reach for them. And draw those shoulders and arms nice and long. Be mindful of your back. Think of the weirdest little down dog, right? Short with those feet propped up. And then bend the knees, slide your blocks back, take them up to the highest level, lift up halfway, take your hands to your knees, and come on up. Shake it out, shake, shake, shake. Good, leave your blanket where it is, set your blocks away for just a second. Come up to the front of your yoga mat. So my blanket is roughly halfway, halfway down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, nice forward fold. Soften the knees and step back with your right leg so that your right knee lands on your blanket. Grab your blocks. Now, here's an interesting thing. If it's okay for your knee to be on the blanket, keep it there. If you need a little bit of relief on the knee, just slide the kneecap off the blanket so that the top of the shin is there, and then try to ground that back foot or flip the toes under, okay? So you're in this nice low lunge, tone through the belly. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Good, take it down, cactus arms. 3 more, inhale, up. Exhale. 1 more or 2 more, up and down. Last one, reach up, good shoulder movement. And back down. Take those hands back to your blocks. Lower the blocks so that they're second level or lower. And lift your back knee off the blanket. Hold right here. Those inner thighs draw toward each other. Check out your front foot. What's it doing? Can you lift your toes off the floor? Can you lift your whole ball mound off the floor? Can you dig the heel in? And then place that foot down. Lower the knee optionally. Hands come to knee. Lift your torso. Take the arms up and breathe. I want you to turn both palms forward. Leave your right hand where it is and press your left one back and breathe. And then switch and switch. Yep, switch. Switch. Last one. Switch. Both arms up, palms turn in. Exhale your hands to the floor. Lower that knee to the floor and switch sides. So now left knee is on the blanket, right leg is forward, right foot is forward. You're finding that sweet little lunge. Maybe you lift your toes of your front foot. Maybe you lift the heel of your front foot, right? What happens? Lower that foot down, find your pose. Tone the belly in, take the arms up. Take the arms in front of you, draw the shoulders back, turn the palms down. Grab the imaginary rope. We've been doing a lot with shoulder mobility here lately, so I want you to pull the rope back and then bring it forward. Good, pull it back. Pretend there's some resistance there, like, oh, right? You really gotta pull it back and forward. One more right here. Pull forward, reach, 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 or back, and then reach forward. Inhale up, exhale down to the floor. Optionally, lift that knee off the floor. Hold that sweet, solid lunge. Hands come to knees. Lift the torso. Getting our little bodies all warmed up. Breathe. Inhale, reach up. Breathe. Take the arms out to the side, palms face forward. Reach the arms back and then touch them forward. Reach back, forward, reach it back, forward, back. Yep, one more right here. Back and forward. Reach those arms up. Exhale down. Hands come to your blocks. Lower that knee. Slide the right knee back. Take the left foot forward. Find your breath. Breathe. Now, careful here. Just a little knee range of motion, if it is okay for you. I just want you to slide your left heel back and then come into your lunge so that your front knee goes past your ankle. Okay. So what I've learned over the years, right? Because we've always done this knee ankle alignment, which I believe is the best for your knee. However, we don't want to lose range of motion. And there are times when that knee is further than the ankle. And if we press our heels down, we're working with the ankle as well, right? Which is where I kind of want to play today. So I'm just going to lean forward. I'm not going to bounce. I'm not going to move. I'm just going to do a static hold. Going to work through this front ankle and then release, switch sides. Take your right foot forward, pause here, see how it feels. Maybe slide the right heel back and let the right knee come forward. Feel that. Notice if one side is different than the other. If you're lifting your heel, of course, right? You're going to lose the effect. Keep the heel down. Breathe. And release. Good. One more. Switch sides, everybody. Take your time. Make sure your alignment and your comfort is where it should be. Now you're going to be knee down or up. That's your choice. Good alignment. Squeeze those inner thighs. Your right hand stays on your block. Want you to imagine, right? You don't need this left block, but imagine pulling it up with that left hand. Twist to the side. Check the back foot. Press into the back heel. Take the arm up. Just a simple lunge twist here. Belly tones in. We're finding our pose. If you would like internal rotation, take that arm behind. See if you can find your belly button on the other side. If you can, let me know. Open up that shoulder, everybody. Breathe. Release. Take it up. Exhale that hand down. Either switch sides here because you're comfortable, like kind of through a half dog, half plank, or lower the knee and switch sides. So here we are on this side. Press through that back heel. Imagine pulling that right hand up as if you're pulling up on a strap. Find the twist and then take the arm up. Now, what are you doing with your chin? What are you doing with your head? How does it feel? Right? How does it feel? When I was doing my teacher training, I used to say, feel what you feel. And my teacher would always yell at me, don't say that. Give them something specific. Okay. Feel what you feel, everybody. Gonna take that hand down to the floor. Now, both blocks flat. Engage. I want you to move into sort of a cat pose, right? Start to round your back. Free that right foot, come into plank pose. Knees can be down on blanket, okay? And breathe. Hold, press through your heels. Remember, when hands are on blocks, we're pushing down, not forward. Oh, breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees and just press back into a nice little stretch here. If your knees don't allow this, come into more of a puppy stretch so that your hips and knees are stacked one on top of the other. Big deep breath, everybody. Good, come on up. Right foot forward. Left knee comes off the floor. Again, optional. If you want to keep that knee down, it is okie dokie with me. Take the blocks up a little bit higher, maybe middle. Push through your back leg. Lift your front foot other than the heel, okay? And really press into that heel. Find your breath, and then see if you can straighten the leg. So it's a really weird pyramid. My back heel is not down. My front heel is digging in. My front knee is not hyperextended. I'm just gonna lift and then lower the foot. Lift, lower, lift, squeeze. When you lift, squeeze, and down. Last one, squeeze, and down. Good, bend your front knee. Inhale the arms up. Find your breath. Notice. Good. One, you're taking hands back to blocks. Two, your hands come to your heart. Three, you're going to lower your knee. Okay, just a little bit of strength move there. Hands come back to your blocks. Switch sides. Switch sides. We're going to get good at switching sides. All right, lift that knee off the floor. Squeeze through. Find your pose, everybody. Inhale, reach those arms up. Nice big stretch. Exhale, hands come to blocks. Lift that front foot. Find your breath. Press through the back. And then tap and lift for 5. That's 4. 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee. Find your pose. Drop those blocks down to the lowest level. Lift her up high. Step back for plank. And breathe. I realize I missed one side. We'll come back to that. Woo. Breathe, breathe, breathe. That's it. Step your left foot forward just so we can get that one move in. Squeeze in through. Good. Knee up or knee down, but if your knee's up, here we go. Take those arms up. Whoop, and breathe. Oh, hands to heart. Lower that knee to the blanket. Release your hands and slide that left knee back to meet the right. Set your blocks aside for a moment. Plant your hands and cat-cow. Breathe. Good. Couple more right here. Stretch it all out, everybody. Last one. Neutral spine. Flip your toes under. Your knees hopefully are on your blanket. If they're not, maybe you can slide that blanket under them. Good. And then flip the toes under and just lift one knee. Just lift one. And then take it out to the side and just see where you can lift. And then lower it down nice and slow. Bring it back to your blanket. Lift your other knee. Take it out to the side. Squeeze. And bring it down. Other side. Lift the knee. Open it out to the side. Squeeze through that side body. Whew. And slowly bring it down. One more. Other side. Oops. First lift. And then open. And then lower knee to the floor. Come on off your wrist, shake them out if they're cranky. Cranky, I read, there's a really cool quote. I'll have to read that in a second. But it said, here, wait, I'm gonna find it because it really is, it's something that made me think about cranky wrists. It says, the moment in front of you is not bothering you. You are bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. I want people to contemplate that. Isn't that awesome? That's by Michael Singer. Okay, so I am being bothered by the moment in front of me. I am bothering myself about the moment in front of me. I just thought that was pretty brilliant. All right, here we go, everybody. One, we're doing the same thing, right? We're gonna lift right leg or right knee and then take it out to the side, or we're gonna play here. We're working these toes, no kidding, right? We're gonna lift the right foot off the floor and squeeze it out to the side. So serious core hip work. Lower, bring the foot to the floor. Lift your left foot. Now knees can be down. Take it out to the side. Woo! Take it down. Foot down. One more, both sides. Lift your right toes. Take the hip out. Squeeze, lower. Last one, lift. Lift, lift, lift. Woo! Lower. Feet down, knees down. Holy moly, downward facing dog. Oh yeah. So in your down dog, just for play, I want you to bend the knees. I want you to lengthen through the sit bones, tone the belly to bring the tailbone back down. Feel that. And then straighten the knees any amount. And then imagine you're squeezing lightly a block between the thighs. And find your down dog. Good job, everybody. Take those feet wide. Walk the hands back. Pause. Hands to knees, big bent knees. And come on up. Shake it out, roll it out. All those things we know. Whew. I know, right? All right. So sometimes when I'm doing and talking and sadly thinking a couple steps ahead, my brain's going, what? Okay, so you have your blanket. Maybe bring it a little bit closer to the front of your yoga mat. Take your blocks on the highest level, put those blocks in front of your blanket. Okay. All right, so first things first, take your left ball mound and toes to your blanket. Step the back foot back a little bit. Not too much. Toes are pointing mostly forward, hips are mostly forward, shoulders are mostly forward, ribs are mostly forward, right? So feel all that. And then I want you to hinge from your hips. The front leg is straight but not hyperextended, and take your hands to your blocks. Adjust your back foot as you need to and wiggle that front leg or that front hip kind of side to side. So when we play with the hamstrings here, there are 3 hamstrings that all attach to the sit bones. I find that just fascinating, right? A middle, an external, and internal. Those are not the names. Those are just what I'm saying. So if we think about it, as we roll that hip side to side, we might be working into the fibers of some of those different individual parts of the muscle, fibers of the muscle. And you can feel where you might be tighter, right? So as the sit bone lifts, but the tailbone draws down, we got all this action going on. Press through your big toe, lengthen your pose, lower the blocks if you have the room for that. Watch the shoulders, right? No hunching. Breathe. You got this. Make sure your ball mound is solidly on your blanket. Bend your front knee, walk your blocks forward. Solid hands on solid blocks, push off, lift your right leg. Now, 1, you're here. 2, you're gonna lift your left heel off the floor. So all the weight is on the blanket, on your ball mound and toes. Tone the belly. Drop the heel. Lower the right leg, step off your blanket, bend both knees, slide your blocks back, and come up to standing. Shake it out. Other side. So right foot goes to. I like to start with these blocks up high. It gives me a lot of room to play. So right ball mound, right toes are on your blanket. Your left foot is back a little bit. You're going to find those hips, shoulders, ribs all kind of squared to the front. And then a deep hinge from the hips to take your hands to your blocks. And play on this side. I want you to wiggle. Wiggle while you work. That better not be a real song. So just feel it. Again, notice my right leg is way different from my left leg. My right leg is tighter, but it's also stronger usually, right? So where we lean, what we do, where the hamstrings hold on tighter, just kind of play. Remember, there's nothing to fix, right? We are just here experiencing this moment at this time. Nothing to fix. Good. And then find yourself at the center, kind of a pyramid pose here, pressing the ball mound into the blanket. Maybe lower your blocks a little bit, go a little bit deeper. Open the shoulders, press through the back foot. Breathe. Oh, that's it, right? Just like, oh, yeah, that feels good. All right, then bend your front knee, walk your blocks forward, nice steady block, steady hands. When and if you're ready, lift the left leg and breathe. Now you're looking down at your floor, right? So you're not overreaching with the neck. Your standing leg is strong, the shoulders are strong. Lift the right heel off the floor if you want. Right? It's like, is that a choice if you want? I don't really want to. Breathe. Lower the heel, lower that foot, step off your blanket, bend your knees and stand up. Oh, good. Roll it out. Just do a couple little circles here. Roll it out. Leave your blanket where it is, but grab your blocks and turn yourself around. So this is going to take just a little spacing just to kind of figure out where are you, right? Where are you in space? So you're standing behind your blocks, your blanket is back there. We're going to do a very similar thing, but we're going to take the heels to the blanket instead of taking the ball mounds to the blanket, okay? So inhale here, exhale, forward fold. And just feel that. And then with those blocks up high, I want you to take the right foot back and place the heel on your blanket. Now for most of us, if it's pyramid pose or something similar to pyramid pose, the back heel drops, right? Your ball mound and toes should be on the floor. Your toes are pointing mostly forward. The front hip, that left hip draws back. The right hip draws forward just a little bit. Your hands are on your blocks. Whew. And we are checking it out. So wiggle those hips a little bit side to side. Now, so before the focus was on the ball mound on the front, this time the focus is on the back foot. Some of you might want to lower those blocks and deepen your stretch. See if you can do so without over rounding the back. Hands just resting on your blocks, torso nice and long. Press into the heel of your back foot. See if you can lift the toes and ball mound off the front foot. Breathe. You got it. Lower that front foot, spread your toes, bend your knees, walk your blocks forward, push off your back foot, raise the leg. Big deep breath. Try to level out the hips best you can. That extended leg, the inner thigh is spinning up toward the ceiling. Bend your front knee, slow, slow, slow. Step the ball mound down of your back foot, step the heel back, walk your blocks back so that you have balance, and then step off your blanket so the feet are back to normal, and come on up to standing. Shake it out, everybody. All right. Chop, chop. Other side, other side. Here we go. So we're back at the front of, sorry, I got a little cute little bug, but he just wants, I'm going to crush him if he doesn't get off my mat. Go, go, go. Okay. Bring the blocks back up high. When you're ready, soften the knees, step back with your left foot so that it is on your blanket. Make sure your toes and your ball mound are off blanket so you don't slip and slide. Back toes pointing mostly forward. Here we are again. Wiggle those hips. So I know a lot of you can take these blocks really low or no blocks right away. But what I like about um, the blocks up high is it gives me room to play with the hips without the kind of strain or the deeper stretch. So just shift a little side to side. How's that feel? Come back to center, dig that heel in. Maybe lower your blocks. Maybe they're a little bit forward just to stretch out here. Press into your back heel. Draw the front hip back a little bit. Maybe you raise the foot, the front foot. How's that feeling on that hammy, right? Not to mention the Achilles tendon, stretching through there. Good, lower that foot. Walk the blocks forward. Lift your back leg if when you're ready. Level out the hips, flex that foot. Try to keep the weight, I didn't say this on the other side, but try to keep the weight in the center of that standing foot, center foot. Breathe. Woo, good, lower that leg down. Bend both knees. Come on up to standing. Roll the shoulders. Grab one block. Place it between your thighs. Walk the feet in a little more if you can and squeeze your block. Good. While we're at it, let's just shake out those wrists. That's a lot of time on the hands. Maybe we interlace and roll them out. Good. Shake it out. So just notice, right, how all of that felt as we move from the back of the feet to the front of the feet, the changes that that makes. Good. One more big squeeze. And let go. Good. Blocks are back to the front of your mat. Go ahead and grab your blanket. You've got that nice little fold. I want you to take the blanket to the creases of your hips. And then imagine that you're going to roll over that blanket. So hold on to it. Dig that blanket deep into the hip creases. And then you can use your blocks or not. Fingertips can come to the floor. As we breathe here, the knees are soft. Notice your breath. That's it. Good. Take your hands back to your blocks if they are not already. Now, 1, you're here. 2, just come on out and hold in mountain pose. We're going to come into a squat, and it is not for everybody. So if you know your knees don't like a deep compression, you know, that deep flex, then either just come soft, like here, kind of a weird chair pose, or stay standing. If you would like, your hands are on your blocks. I want you to lift your heels and then bend your knees and come into a squat. You don't have to go that deep. So when we're looking at ankle flexibility, knee flexibility, all this stuff, we want to maintain range of motion as best we can without doing any harm. Okay, so I do squats very slowly because otherwise my knees aren't happy. All right, so from here, right, we got to stand up. So I'm going to squeeze in my belly. I'm going to really tone in through my core. I'm going to lean forward on the blocks and then straighten the legs. So it's like a little baby assist here. And then bend the knees and come up to standing. Set your blanket on the floor. Last one of these squats. So again, you be mindful, you be your best advocate here. Your heels go on your blanket. Your blocks are here in front of you. You can take them up high. We'll go in stages. I like this because my heels don't easily come to the floor and squat. If they are, I have to go wide. But with my heels on a blanket, I can do a squat closer in. All right, so inhale, reach up. exhale, forward fold to your blocks, nice and easy. Maybe you lower them one, they're a bit more stable that way. And then lean forward and see if you can come down to a squat. Your heels are on the blanket. Your hands can come to your heart, right? To prayer pose rather. And you're just getting a sense, like don't make it big. And if this is too low, but you have some room to move, you really could take one block and kind of sit it underneath your butt on the blanket to give you a little bit more height. But if you're okay, we won't stay here for long. I just want you to get a sense of how it feels. How do your knees feel in this position? Is it possible? Is it not? Another option would be to lay on your back and just draw the knee into chest here. All right, we don't do this much, I know. So if you hate it, it's over soon. Lean forward. You're on the ball mounds and the toes again, right? Push into your blocks to stand up. And then step off your blanket. Bend your knees, hands to knees. Come on up. Oh, shake it out, everybody. All right, so we're going to do one more. I know I said we weren't going to do one more. But I realized that that just seamlessly goes into, I think it's Malasana, garland pose. So you decide. So we're going to go wider, heels on blankets, and knees and toes kind of track out to the side a little bit more. If this is not for you, okay, because we're going to go back to squat. I want you to come on down to the mat, lay on your back, take the knees wide to armpits, and draw them in with your arms to your level, okay? So there's the option. All right, so again, going into squats, I'm always really gentle. I'm gonna bend the knees. I'm gonna shake out my hips. It's almost like I gotta wiggle into them. Like I gotta go, okay, let's make some room, right? Let's find that room in the hammies. Let's find that room in the hips. And then I'm going to take my hands to the floor and I'm going to see if my body allows a squat. So the knees are wide, the elbows are inside the knees, the hands are to the heart. If this hurts, come out of the pose, please. Okay. Optionally, you can draw the arms in a little bit more, take the hands out or around the ankles. I don't like that so much. Hands forward for me is much better. But I'm pressing my knees into my elbows into my knees. If you were really good at crow pose, you could move into crow pose here. It's not one of mine. And then hands to elbows, hands to the floor. And I just want you to have a seat. Straighten the legs. Woo, yeah, baby. Now you're sitting on your blanket, maybe ideally. And from that blanket, I want you to shimmy forward. So as much of the flesh of those sit bones is backing out of the way as possible. That helps us anteriorly tilt the pelvis. From here, I want you to find Dandasana. Engage the legs. Feel the quadriceps engaged here. Feel the fire in the legs. Lift through your chest, everybody. Good. And then I'll mirror here. Bend your right leg. Step it over your left leg. Lift up really tall. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, twist to your right. The left elbow goes toward the right or outside the right knee. And the right hand goes behind. Keep the left leg grounded. Keep the extended leg grounded. Find your breath. And then come to center. As you release, I want you to just take that same right leg into Janu Sirsasana. Again, watch the knee, block under knee. Always awesome, okay? Feel that nice big stretch. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Let the hands come to the floor, widen through the collarbones. Press the hands back isometrically, right? So what that does is help you lengthen the torso. Big deep breath, everybody. You're only coming down to your point where it feels good for you. Don't overdo here. And breathe. Good. Press into your hands. Lift up. Reach those hands back. Release that knee, straighten the leg. Maybe you snug back up on your blanket and then shimmy back down again. Sit really tall. Sit tall. I was measured the other day with shoes on, and I haven't measured my shoes, but I have not lost much in the way of height at all. And I'm like, yoga. Awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's do the other side. Slide your left leg up. Find that nice extension as you stretch or step that leg over. Lift up really tall. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to your left. Find that nice, easy twist for you. The belly is toned, right? The ribs moving, the shoulder, the chest. Watch the overextension of the head or the neck. I press my arm into my leg back into my arm, but try not to overuse this pivot point, okay? We don't want to muscle through. Just breathe, opening up chest, opening up shoulders. Good, release it, take it center, take that bent knee and just turn it out to the side. Finding your Janu Sirsasana, I call it a single leg forward fold, right? Keep it simple. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive out. Find that pose, drawing for you, it would be right hip back as the torso moves forward, as the hands isometrically draw back again. And then truly, honestly, feel what you feel. Where do you feel this particular stretch? Right? What is this pose doing for you, for your body, for your breath? Right? Forward folds tend to move us into that parasympathetic nervous system where we are resting, digesting, we are calm, we feel safe. It's why they recommend forward folds before sleep. All right, wherever you are, push up. Ooh, good. Release that other leg. Take both legs into Baddha Konasana, just stretching that out. I still have the back of that sacrum, the top end of that tailbone sitting on the blanket. So I'm really anteriorly lifting through the pelvis. Good. And then bring your knees together. And you're going to come up to standing one more time. One more time. So no blanket, just set that aside. Come to downward facing dog, stretch it out. Bend the knees and feel the sit bones lift. And then straighten those knees a little bit more. Solid down dog. Good. Stretch the legs out to the side. Walk the hands back. Bend the knees. Come on up. Oh, good. Roll it out, everybody. Grab your blocks. So this time, no blankets. The blocks are down low. Okay. They can be up at second level too. So that's okay if you would rather have it at second level. I'm okay with that. All right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come on down to those blocks, flat or second level, either one. Walk the feet back so that your ankles and your hips are in a nice little line. Soften the knees. Lift your right heel and peel your foot to stretch it back. We've been here before, but we were playing with the blanket. So I want you to level everything out. Find your pose, push into your standing leg. You can even lift the toes and feel those four corners of the foot. Good. 1, you're here. 2, you're going to release that left arm and reach it back. Find your breath. Try not to overlook up, right? Look more at the floor. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Strong balance pose here. Release. Woo. Release. Bend the knees. Come on up. Find your breath. Let that breath move back, right? Shake it out. Let's go to the other side. Inhale it up. Exhale, forward fold. Same thing, other side. Soften those knees, right? Lift the left heel off the floor, extend out, and just kind of notice, right? Can we roll the hip down? Flex the foot, that inner thigh spins up toward the ceiling. It's tricky. If you look at your toes, they should be pointing mostly down, right? Good. So 1, you're here. This is a lot of work. Stay in the center of that standing foot. Otherwise, you're going to reach right arm back. Find your breath. You got it. You got it. You got it. Breathe. Release the hand. Release the leg. Holy moly. Set your blocks aside. Come on up. Shake it out. Are we going to feel this later? Yes, we are. All right, shake it out, everybody. Last one, we're just going to play. Left foot forward, right foot back. Kind of pyramid pose legs, hips even, shoulders back. We're going to lean forward and we're going to see if the arms can go back while the leg lifts. So airplane pose, no blocks, no nothing. Breathe. Find your pose. Toe can be down, grounded airplane. I like that one a lot. Bend the knee, sit down. That one felt a little shaky on that side for me. Other side. Sometimes, you know, with these balance poses, Warrior 3 and airplane, I kind of like to kind of tip up and tip back too. Sometimes I can find it better that way. But lean forward, reach the arms back, lift the leg if you would like. Hello. Nope. Legs are going, that's enough out of you. Breathe. And release. That's it. All right. Lordy, Lordy, let's come down to the floor. Come into a forward fold. Step back to down dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Hold up, listen up. You're going to take that lovely blanket one more time. And you're going to set it around the middle of your mat. Okay, while your teacher catches her breath. Okay, so you're going to lay on this blanket. Lay it right down so that it's kind of at the pubic bone, hip bones, not too far up to the belly button. And I want you to just lay over it. Just lay over it. So you feel almost as if the tailbone, right? We're descending down a little bit. If you're overarching in your back, you're probably too low on your blanket. So just breathe for a second. Just let all that settle down. Good. And then from this position, I want you to just simply come to Sphinx pose. So elbows are under shoulders and elbows are shoulders width apart. Palms are face down. I want you to tone in through the belly and feel yourself like descend down the blanket more. Okay, so I'm actually feeling like the flesh that is around the low belly and at the pubic bone is drawing up toward the belly button. So it's that kind of weird little thing. And as I do that, I create a little bit of traction in the sacrum and in the tailbone. Tops of the feet are pressing down to the floor. Nice solid Sphinx, belly toned in. 1, you're here. 2, the hands go out a little bit. You can press up. And then I just want you to kind of play. Maybe you do little circles. Maybe you lower and press up. You can move the hands anywhere you want to move them, right? They can be forward. I want you to kind of get out of the thought that Sphinx and Cobra are the only 2 ways to move that back body. I want you to just play and breathe. Good, 1 more, just move. And lower. Hands to forehead, forehead to hands. Good, scoot up the blanket just a little bit so you're more at the very tops of the thighs up to the hip bone. Press down to your right foot, lift the left. No going into your low back, anybody. Okay, stay out of the back. Just squeeze that hip and lower down. Go to the other side, squeeze and lower down. Lift both if you can and lower down. Find your breath. Roll over to one side and just move the blanket. You'll use it in a minute, but just move it out of the way and come on down to your back. I know that's gonna feel good. Whew, good, just pause here. Take the feet wide on your mat. Sorry, my little bun's in the way. So take your feet wide on your mat, take the arms out, either cactus or straight T position. Lower the knees one way and lift and lower the other way. Just a little windshield wiper here. Good, couple more. The next time the knees are to the right, go ahead and hold it there. Open up through the whole back body, so spread those shoulders. Maybe take the gaze over to the left. Just breathe. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And again, deep breath in, deep breath out. Take the knees to center, go the other way. Allow the knees to rest. Breathe, soften your jaw, soften the belly, deep breath in. Maybe the gaze goes toward the right, maybe not. Good, take the knees to center. You're squared on your mat. Kind of snuggling your sacrum. Grab your blanket. You're still in a little roll here. I want you to take the blanket behind your right knee. Kind of snuggle it in as best you can and then squeeze that knee. Now, again, don't do this if it hurts, okay? So either you can just create some compression here. You're holding that lower shin with your hands. You're giving that blanket a good squeeze. If that doesn't feel good, just bring the knee to where you can and hold behind the thigh. But give it a good squeeze. Give that blanket a really good squeeze if you can, if your body allows that. Breathe. Good. Release that side. Just go to the other side. So creating a little space behind that knee. Tuck it in and then bend the knee. And then you decide where to squeeze, what to hold. The other leg extended out. Breathe. Good. Release that side. Take that blanket right underneath your hip bones, like not your hip bones, but right underneath where your glutes and your back thighs meet. Okay, draw both knees to chest. Hold your right knee, extend the left leg all the way up to the ceiling, and then slowly lower it all the way to the floor. Got your right knee in, extend that up to the ceiling and extend that all the way down. You should feel that blanket hit the back of your thighs, your legs nice and soft. The knees are nice and soft here. Palms face up, and let's find our Shavasana. And start to soften everywhere. And imagine coming back to that quote that I read at the beginning, that there is nothing about us that needs to be fixed. We are whole and complete just the way we are. So the next time you look in the mirror, look at yourself with love. The next time you make a comment about yourself that is not filled with love, revisit it and turn it around. Feel the soft fullness of the belly when you inhale and the soft descending movement as you exhale. Allow yourself to be in this present moment. Go softer still. Come back to the breath. Those of you who are ready, go ahead and start to wiggle. Slowly bend your knees, draw your knees to your chest. Rock side to side, curl over to one side. Give yourself a big hug. And then as you're ready, press all the way up to your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your inner grace, inner wisdom, inner voice. Love yourself. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.